Hello, my boils, my ghouls, and my zools. The time has come. The time is now. It is finally time to talk about the biggest and best AK event of the year. The event we all know and love, colloquially known as Kalashbash. Kalashbash. So I think the best way to talk about this event is to talk about it like you've never heard about it. So maybe you have an AK, maybe you don't. Maybe you'd like to learn more about the AK community. Maybe you'd just like to meet some more folks in the AK community. Maybe you'd like a chance to meet some of these companies that build all these parts and all these products for these guns we're so obsessed with. Maybe you'd like a chance to test your gun and your skills on the clock for the first time or the 100th time. Maybe you'd like to fire a fucking machine gun and learn about a living piece of history in your hands right in real time. So Kalashbash is a 3-day event that is part competition, part festival, and general celebration of the Kalashnikov platform. With distances, some travel, you could probably even call it an AK Mecca. It happens the second week of October in Eagle Lake, Texas from Friday through Sunday. Camping is available on site and you should be prepared to be there all weekend if you are camping. There are food vendors in the day, water is available around the range free of charge, and vendors do bring exclusive Kalashbash items and perform product demos of currently available and upcoming products. If you choose to compete, you have the option of shooting all the stages Friday or splitting them up between Saturday and Sunday. This year there was 289 shooters, so it depends on what you want to do with your weekend and how much energy you really have. So 2022 was my second year of Kalashbash, and this year I decided to camp, so me and my squad mate John arrived early and set up our cart, headed over to our first stage as we chose the option to shoot all of our stages on the Friday. So stage 1 was called Tight Shot by K&S Precision. It was a jungle run stage, and I did make a little whoopsie running a little fast. You know, I had to back up a little bit, and honestly, I couldn't see my bullet impacts, you know, just getting them first stage jitters out.
Shooter, are you ready?
Is it on?
Stand by. Hey!
Oh shit.
Yeah, don't miss that one. Hi!
It went okay, but, you know, definitely getting them first stage jitters out. You know, at least at the beginning of the stage, it went pretty well, but man, moving through the stage, it just seemed like it was starting to like fall apart a little bit because, you know, there was a little bit of distance and a bit of close-up. Close-up shots were fine, but, you know, my distance shots, you know, I was still kind of figuring out my axis, and, you know, I couldn't see my impact, so, you know, and I wasn't getting too many calls, but, you know, I was getting some, so I was able to figure it out, but it went fine for really the rest of the day. You know, as far as distance goes, and I mean, the close-up shots, I was fine. I did have my rifle zeroed for 25 yards, and subsequently I did, you know, learn more about zeroing 5.45 and that you should zero it at 50 yards, actually, because of the tumble in the air. So, you know, with a 25-yard zero, I did alright, but again, was having a bit of trouble seeing my impacts. Stage 2 was called Z-Pass by Zastava. This was the second jungle run stage, and, you know, I did get 2 FTNs running right past, you know, just running a little stage, but this stage did go much, much better than the first one. EFTNs hurt me bad. It did hurt me pretty bad. It knocked me back to 187th on this stage, you know, but overall, at least the movement and everything, I felt like I got those first stage jitters out, just, you know, still had to speed it up. I really needed to speed it up, so luckily I was squatted with the infamous possum. and he definitely helped me speed up. So the raw time was all right, but those FTNs really hurt.
Alrighty. Are you ready?
Ready.
Stand by. Cut! 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 Cut!
Left.
Cut!
Yeah.
Turn it up. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Stage 3. Oh my god, man. This one was a nightmare for me because I have some of the worst balance on the freaking planet. And it's definitely evidenced in the video here. I could not stay on that thing, man. I am just the worst. You should see me try to skateboard. It is bad. I love skating, but man, I can't do it for... It's purely... really bad transportation for me, so you know I can't do a kickflip to save my life, man. Fairly new to competing. I didn't know about infinite walls, so I got a couple FTNs there, and I mean that's not really what knocked me back. I got 229th on this stage. It was bad, but I don't really think it was really too much for those FTNs that I caused myself, really, just from not knowing. Really, I couldn't speed up because I have terrible fucking balance.
Let's go. Hurry up.
So moving on, man. Oh my god, we need to get this day going. We need to get this freaking day going, man. 3 stages in, and it's, you know, I mean the first stage jitters were out, but you know, still I don't have any balance, so that's very much against me. Stage 4, it's a classic setup. Heat by M13 Industries. So here we go, baby. Movement felt a little choppy, but this time was much better. I started the day clean, and we brought it back clean here. Still not the greatest time, but it was clean at 58.41, and I got 91st overall on this stage.
Oh, 1, 2,
Let's
3.
go.
Let's go. Let's go. Hurry up. What are you doing? Grab and go.
Fuck the zipper!
Let's go.
The zipper!
Fuck the hat. Fuck the hat. All right.
Two shots! Let's go!
2 shots.
Now have fun.
Reload.
Oh! You got it, baby. Okay, stage 5, man. Fucking redemption time. Here we go, baby. Here we go. Okay, so last year, this stage existed in the form of show me your war face. And you start sitting down, you have to engage your targets on the right, you have to engage your targets on the left, and when you're done with those, you run up the center, and then you have to engage an array that's moving from left to right or right to left, however you really want to engage it. Last year, got my long range targets out the way, and then I took my run and I started engaging my targets laterally.
Hit! 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 Hit!
One thing I didn't notice on my little run is I had a magazine pouch malfunction and my spare mags came flying out, so when I ran out of ammo, reached for my mags and went, oh, come on. Are you kidding me, man?
Time, 26:30.
This year, the stage was called Light It Up by Firebird Targets. And I mean, last year, that show me your war face, that my face was a fucking grimace. This year was rather redeeming. No camera this year, but one of the longer range targets was an exploding target, as, you know, the sponsor of the stage, you know, Firebird Targets.
Thomas and
Too fattest eat ass.
gonna
Eat it all up.
We are hot. Make ready.
Where would you like me to leave the chamber flag?
Pocket.
Okay.
Thank you for asking.
Let's hope that don't come flying out this
Yeah,
way.
well, that way we can retrieve it. It's not going to cost you any fouls, right?
Right. Whoa. If I know how to do this. Okay. All right.
When you're ready, shouldered, low ready.
Okay. Ready.
Shooter's ready. Stand by. Hit! Nice!
Oh no.
Range, that load show me clear.
This one, I got 58th for this stage overall and 20th in my division. So here we fucking go, baby. Definitely sped this one up much, much better for me this year. Stage 6, Duck Hunt by Silencer Shop. This stage was also a freaking mess for me last year. I didn't know my holdovers, honestly. I was pretty new to competing, and at the time I didn't have a good range for, you know, zeroing for distance, and I just didn't know my holdover straight up. So, yeah, it was a freaking mess with the long range shots. Again, this year was rather redeeming. I was able to keep my pace on this one, but I did get a procedural for not, you have to take a certain shot when you're done with the throwing the balls in the baskets. You have to take a shot from a certain spot, you know, before you throw the ball. I didn't.
There you go.
Better freaking throw those grenades like a man.
I've been messing with these purses. Alrighty.
outside with your toes on the white.
Oh, gotcha.
Shooter ready?
Ready.
Shooter to case ready. Stand by.
Ah! Oh.
Hit! 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 Hit!
Don't forget the targets to the right.
Hit! Hit! Hit!
This version of the stage went much better. Last year completely ate my lunch, but despite the penalty, I got 69th overall and 25th on the division for this stage, so can't really complain. You know, despite a penalty, I still did alright. Stage 7 is a last stand by Big Tex and G-Code, and this one admittedly didn't go so well. Got me a little shook after I've been doing so good all day. You know, despite my balance problems, I was at least getting my shots off. So, you know, I got the balance problem in the FTNs on that fucking purse stage, but, you know, it didn't shake me because I was at least getting my shots off. This one shook me a little bit because my raw time wasn't so bad.
And you understand, of course. I do.
All right. Are you ready? Stand
Yes.
by.
Yeah.
Hit! 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 All right. Hit! Hit! White tape right there, that's it.
But I did hit a no-shoot, and it knocked me back to a freaking 154th on this stage, but still got 46th in the division, so not the worst. You know, probably wasn't the only one. It's something I need to work on, and I know that. You know, I've actually got a pretty good history of getting some tight height over bore shots in competitions when it's been like a thing that you kind of have to game a little bit. But, you know, as far as doing it on the fly, I could use a little bit of work on that, and I know it's just one of those things I got to add to the list. Stage 8. We are finally at the end. Stage 8 is called Make It Count by Tort, however you'd like to pronounce it. You know, if you want to put some emphasis on that Tort, or, you know, is it Tort for you? So anyhow, this stage went pretty well for me. I wasn't the fastest on the planet. I was just trying to get through it. It's the last stage of the day, but what you do is you dump your spare ammo in the can, and you take the top of the can off and you dump your ammo out, or you could take the can over, but either way, the ammo can has to end up back in that square when you have your ammo in there, when you start loading, or when you're loaded, you know. So I dumped the ammo down and I put the can back, I started loading up, and you know, it was a lot of fun, everybody screaming and everything, and I had a little bit of a fucker because I'm shooting 5.45, I was shooting this 74 right here, and I found a 7.62 in there, and that'll throw you up. And yeah, there was a couple 7.62s left over from previous, you know, run in the can, so that made it a little bit of a fucker when I was like, you know, trying to scan it. So I was paying attention and just doing it one by one. And the reason I was doing it one by one was because I was slamming the round in and just making sure it was seated with my left hand. So here we go.
1 bullet,
2,
3,
4, 6, 7, 8.
Hurry up!
Jeez.
What are you doing?
Come on, do it for the gram. Just forget the rest of the ammo. Just start shooting.
Hey, you can't miss if you never shoot.
True. That's a 7.62. God damn it.
Try it.
Right?
Yeah, let's see if it works.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's go.
Full set.
Yeah, I've been waiting.
Hey,
You gotta shoot the targets, not the fins.
oh my God.
Damn, boy.
Oh!
High. High.
Damn.
Fucking 74. Yeah, fuck those guys. Yeah, those guys. Fuck those guys down there. Specifically. Those targets are supposed to be mom.
I think I still got one. Come on.
Hurry up.
Wait a minute.
The date is motherfucking done.
Don't get DC'd now. Time.
You know, I was getting screamed at on fucking TikTok. Everybody going, always pick up a handful. I don't think that would have sped me up too much because I was just keeping constant feed because after 8 stages, being all tired and everything, and I mean, you know, you just loading, man. I just loaded as many as I just felt like, and everybody's screaming. I just said, fuck it, let's go for it. I know I'm going to get this because I know my zero was dead on, so despite me being a little cocky and, you know, loading a little slow and just joking around and everything while I was loading, I still got 60th on the stage and 24th in the division, so that's pretty good out of as many shooters as there were. I really can't complain about my scores this year because, I mean, previous year, I didn't do so hot. I think I got like 226 or something. Yeah, let's see right here. We can see right now. Kalashbash. Kalashbash. So let's read the score for last year's overall and last year's division scores, and then we'll read this year's and see how our years compare between the two. Last year I got 198th overall and 49th in my division. Last year I was shooting the same division, but I was shooting a 5.56 rifle. I was shooting my M90. This year I was shooting 5.45 out of a AK-74, obviously. So this year at Kalashbash I got 108th overall and 37th in my division. So quite a bit of an improvement, man. About 100 spots almost, so not too bad, not too shabby. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of my performance. I'm definitely proud of the performance of everybody on my squad. Everybody was tearing it up. You know, everybody had a little problem here and there, but let's get real. It's kind of a rough match as fun as it is, man. I mean, you got the dirt out there. You got the heat, but this year wasn't as hot as last year. I mean, last year I wish I would have got the idea to just take my fucking shirt off and do it, but I didn't. You know, this year I definitely did. I got naked. Now, since we decided to shoot all the stages on the Friday, we had the whole weekend to camp, check out vendors and whatnot. I have to be honest, I'm not the biggest person about the vendors and whatnot. I like to check out new products and whatnot, but I'm not usually shopping too much. This year I just picked up an RS Regulate mid-lower, and that's actually kind of changing my opinion on what I might take to Kalashnikon this year because I did just get an upper for it, so I think that might actually be the ticket and just keep training for maybe summer, and we'll do irons in summer. That way we got a good nice 6 months because, I mean, you know, got years on red dots. I don't have years on irons, so I think it would be a mistake to just train for 2 months and then go for it when I've never really done that other than just playing around at local matches. So I think we might actually do that. Just stick with the red dot for now. Go with the irons for maybe summer or something like that, or maybe even AK Masters, even though there's some extreme long range at times at that match I hear. When we got done with the match, first thing we needed to do was go set the camp up, get some food ASAP, man. So we went and got some food. We came back, we set up the camp, and you know, got our snack on, and the party started because it was about dark when we got that tent up. So I'm just gonna drop the dime on the whole thing. there's a little bit of debauchery that goes on in the camp. There's lots of illegal drugs, machine guns. Everybody is drinking and naked and firing them all at the same time, doing cocaine, maybe nudity. Really none of that's happening. It's actually a lot like a Ren fair, to tell you the truth. I mean, guns are away, there is some drinking. You might be looking at, some, showpieces. There definitely might be a little bit of a barbecue situation going on. But for the most part, everybody's just partying, having fun. This year, a freaking arm wrestling competition broke out for like hours. It was weird and cool. Happens. So because the gates closed absurdly early, I unfortunately was not able to get in the second night. And I just have to say that, truthfully, because I mean, it's just a thing. It's not against Kalashbash. It's just a thing with the ranch and the contract they have with the ranch. The gates close at, I think, 5 o'clock. Be prepared to be there all weekend because I had to give somebody a ride back home who wasn't feeling too well. So I came back and I just didn't make it back in time. So drove all the way back to Kalashbash, didn't make it back in, and then I had to drive a couple hours back home. But the upside of that is I at least got some good rest. I came back the third day, just kind of moseyed around, didn't really do much. Like I said, I'm not too big of a shopper. I got a lot of shopping on last year, and honestly, those parts filled my hunger for a long time because, I mean, Kalashbash was last year, and that's where I met Kalashbash. And that's kind of where I fell in love with Kalashbash. So, that's one of the reasons why I have so much Kalashbash shit. Met them, everything was great. They definitely hooked me up at Kalashbash last year. Fortunately, they weren't there this year, and there was nothing I was really too interested in. I had my eye on some surplus, but the prices, I'm a surplus guy, so wasn't going for that. I did end up with that mount, like I said, so that was much appreciated because, I mean, there was some factory second stuff going on, and, the prices were pretty good at the RS Regulate table, so that was really the booth to be. Got to see Blair over at AKT Sports. Pleasure as always. They make some of the best in electronic hearing protection. I need to start rocking those more. I still generally just rock earplugs, but frankly, I need to switch up my, electronic hearing protection because I am having some hearing problems lately. Lifetime career in the music industry, man, so yeah, did a little bit of a number on my hearing after all the sound work. So I mean, that's not the reason I don't do it anymore. I just rolled with it, and you surprisingly learn how to do it pretty well and make people happy. But you roll with your limitations. I have my own limitations with shooting that I have to overcome. I don't talk about them because I ain't gonna bitch, but I got my own I gotta overcome, so whatever. We'll just keep rolling. Anywho, so walked around, said hello to the vendors I know and love that were present, and basically just kind of ate, hung out, said hello to people I hadn't seen around the match all weekend, and then the award ceremony started. And if you haven't been to a Kalashbash award ceremony, that's a party in itself. They definitely make sure to not go away with just a boring old call a ticket number like it's... I got a set of G codes out of just the random toss, but I didn't get anything out of the raffle or the contests, or, I definitely wasn't showing enough spirit this year. So the awards ceremony pretty much goes with a random toss. There's a combo of some raffling. There are contests where, maybe you got a load of Podovach, or, the best, Wolverine scream, something like that. And then you're going to have your overall win scores. You're going to have your last place win scores. And unfortunately, my scores weren't quite there this year. And I didn't quite exude the spirit that someone like Jose Sweet Dick Diaz. And this year, the Spirit Animal Award prize was a custom wrestling belt with Randy Kalash Savage on it. So if you were wondering how the rifle performed, I took the 74 and it got a few hundred rounds through it. I think we went through about somewhere around 500 or so. Definitely went through around somewhere 500 to 600 actually. It was quite a lot of ammo because we had some misses, and definitely had to dump a little bit. So it's Kalashbash. You got to have some fun, man. Didn't have one malfunction, not one hiccup. Again, the rifle is performing, man. This rifle is performing. The rifle now has a couple thousand rounds on it in the past month, and I mean, not bad. I mean, it's actually doing fairly well at distance shots. Can't really say anything bad about it, man. I mean, yes, it is at a PSA. Yes, we're gonna have to check our head spacing after a couple more thousand rounds, but so far, the rifle is holding up. It's been a tank. And really, that's all I have for you today, boils, ghouls, and zools. There's really not much more I could say about Kalashbash without taking from the experience, because you need a little bit to the imagination. You need a little bit to find out. You need a bit of a surprise. You need some shock and awe, because it's quite an experience. It's a big weekend, and they undertake quite a bit. I recommend, if you've never competed before, come out and compete. But, you know, I met quite a few people that just came to spectate, so that is a thing as well. The ticket is significantly cheaper if you are coming to spectate, so that is one thing to put into account. You don't have to compete if you're coming to Kalashbash. This year's Kalashbash was the best event I had all year, man. So I have to say, congratulations, Tony. Congratulations, Clay. It was definitely a fantastic event, man. You know, if I had to step back and just be objective, really the only thing that rivals Kalashbash is Kalashnikon, and that is really because it is two different matches, man. I think they're kind of like both the best match, really. It's more of a precision match, more of a difficulty thing. You know, you definitely have the brutality of the winter match as well. And Kalashbash, it's definitely more of a celebration. The match is more of a run and gun thing. You're not going to get hung up if you're a beginner. I definitely did it as a beginner, and I could say it's a great match for beginners because the precision isn't the hardest thing on the planet, and the close-ups are not the easiest thing on the planet. So it's got a good, real mix of competition in there. It really does. It really does have a good mix of competition at Kalashbash. I'm excited to see what they come up with for the new spring match. And again, I have to say congratulations on this year's Kalashbash. Congratulations on the upcoming match. And as far as Kalashbash goes, guys, I will see you in 2023. So boils, ghouls, and zools, you know what that means? Have fun. Be kind. And